Welcome to the Deep Dive. Today we're opening up the sources on one of the most high-stakes moments we all face, the job interview. Specifically, how to nail it when English isn't your first language. We all know that feeling, right? You've got your resume, you know your stuff, but you walk into that room, virtual or not, and suddenly it feels, well, overwhelming.
It really does. The quiet room, the lights, you can almost hear your own heartbeat.
And your thoughts are just racing. It's nerve-wracking.
It is. But you know, the very first thing we want you to take away is that feeling, that nervousness. It just means you care. It's actually a sign of ambition.
That's a great way to frame it. So our mission today is simple. We're not here to teach you a bunch of complicated vocabulary. We've pulled out a step-by-step guide for speaking with confidence using simple, clear, and just natural English.
And the sources all really agree on this one core insight. Interviewers are not looking for perfect grammar. They're looking for clear, calm communication. That's what signals you're reliable.
So we're going to walk you through the exact formulas, the phrases you can use to deliver that clarity, no matter how fast your heart is beating. Okay, let's unpack this and jump right into that critical opening moment.
Let's do it.
You sit down, the introductions are done, and then comes that classic, that really intimidating opener.
Yes. So tell me about yourself.
Exactly. And the immediate pressure is just to list everything you've ever done, right? Like a lecture on your own life.
A whole chronological history. And that's exactly what our sources say to avoid. They boil it down to this incredibly powerful 3-part formula. If you can just deliver this short structure, you immediately come across as organized and clear.
Okay, so what is it?
It's name plus background plus goal.
Name, background, goal.
Yeah.
That sounds almost too simple. What's the strategy there? What makes it so effective?
Well, it works because it lets you control the narrative right from the start. You give your name, that establishes a connection, you state your background, that's why you're qualified, and then, and this is the critical part, you pivot immediately to the future, to your goal.
So you're shifting from here's my past to here's what I want to do with you.
Precisely. Look at the example of Anna from the material. She doesn't list her high school grades or anything. She just says, my name is Anna, I studied business, I enjoy helping people, and I hope to grow in your company.
It's so short. It's warm, specific, and it ends on that high note of future potential.
Right. The power isn't in the vocabulary. It's all in the structure. And there's one key practice line that we've pulled out that really captures this.
Okay.
Just internalize this. My name is, and I'm excited to learn and grow. That phrase, excited to learn and grow, it's a universal signal. It tells them you're coachable, you're motivated, and you're looking forward. That's what they're really buying.
Okay, so once we've nailed that intro, we move on to experience. And this is where I think a lot of people start listing old job duties. We need to get past that and deliver a clear story.
Yes. The shift has to be from what you did to what you learned. The interviewer doesn't need a timeline. They need evidence. Evidence that you have skills you can use here.
But what if my background isn't a direct match? I mean, say I work in a restaurant or retail, and now I'm applying for an office job. How do I even connect those two?
That's a brilliant question because this is where that simple language just shines. If you worked in a shop, you don't say, I stocked shelves. That's just a task. You pull out the skill. You say something like, I worked in a small shop, I helped customers every day, and I learned to communicate clearly under pressure.
That reframe is so strategic.
Yeah.
You're turning a task helping customers into a real skill. Clear communication.
Exactly. Or, if you started something like accounting, you highlight the intellectual takeaway. I studied accounting. I learned how to organize complex information and solve detailed problems. Yeah. Even your language learning itself is a skill.
That's where the sources get really insightful. They suggest using your journey with English as proof of motivation.
That's right. Instead of just talking about old jobs, use your own drive. Something like, I'm learning English every day, and that effort helps me communicate better at work. That shows commitment, self-discipline. These are things every single employer values.
Right. Let's tackle the big 3 questions. Strengths, weaknesses, and why do you want this job? Starting with strengths, the research advises against using these, big flowery words.
Yeah, we want real, simple words that you can connect to an action right away. Think about foundational qualities like, I am patient and I enjoy helping people. Or maybe, I like learning new things and improving every day. The focus should always be on traits that benefit the team.
But hold on, words like patient or friendly, they sound a little bit generic, a bit basic. I mean, what if the interviewer is expecting more sophisticated vocabulary?
That's a really common fear, but the clarity is the strategy. When you try to use a complex word you're not 100% sure of, you risk mispronouncing it or using it wrong, and that can just derail your confidence in a second. Sticking to simple words you know you can deliver with authority, that beats complex vocabulary every single time.
Okay, understood. Clarity is confidence. Now for the really tricky one. Weaknesses. This is where everyone freezes up or, tries to give that fake weakness that's secretly a strength.
And the sources make a crucial distinction here. You're not talking about past failures. You're talking about things you are working on now. The formula is honesty plus effort.
So you name the challenge, but then immediately talk about the solution you're using right now.
Precisely. Don't just say, I'm shy. You frame it actively. I sometimes feel shy, but I'm practicing speaking up more in group meetings now. Or, I want to improve my time management, so I use a digital planner every day to keep my tasks organized.
The genius there is that you're showing self-awareness and accountability. I mean, those are huge green flags for any manager.
It's proof of that growth mindset we keep talking about. And if you need a single line to just close it out, this one is a powerhouse. I am learning every day, and I want to grow.
Let's move on to defining your style. When they ask, how would you describe yourself?
Yeah.
We don't want a word salad.
No. The advice is to use 3 real words and then immediately connect them to an action. If you say you're organized, prove it.
So, take the abstract idea and make it concrete.
Correct. I am patient, so I stay calm and focused when things get busy. Or, I am organized, so I plan my tasks clearly every day with a priority list. The goal is to be authentic, to be real, not perfect.
Now, what about challenges? When the interviewer says, tell me about a time you solved a problem, the pressure's on to tell some huge, epic story. But the sources say a simple, clear moment actually works better.
Absolutely. The size of the problem doesn't matter. The clarity of your response does. You can use a really simple framework: situation, action, result, for example. My group project was late because we weren't communicating clearly, so I organized a new meeting, broke the project into small steps, and we finished on time.
That's great because it shows initiative and organization without needing this massive, complicated story. It's just concise and clean.
And remember, showing growth is always the priority. Employers want resilience. You can even admit to a mistake if you frame it right. I made a mistake once on a spreadsheet, but I learned the deep importance of attention to detail from it. That vulnerability, when you pair it with the lesson learned, is incredibly powerful.
Okay, we've covered the content. Let's talk about the mechanics. When the nerves hit, we all tend to rush, and that speed actually makes us less clear.
This might be the most tactical piece of advice we have. Speak slowly. Speak clearly. The interviewer is grading your ability to deliver clear, calm communication. Pausing is your friend. Rushing just creates noise.
I love how the materials emphasize breaking down your ideas. It's so tempting to try and cram a complex thought into one long sentence to prove you're fluent, but it just gets tangled.
Precisely. And when you're nervous, you can easily lose your way mid-sentence. So instead of saying, I think I can manage different tasks under pressure because I am fast and enjoy juggling deadlines.
Which is exhausting just to listen to.
Right. You just break it down into short, powerful sentences. I can manage many tasks. I work well under pressure. I stay focused. Each sentence lands on its own. It's easier for you to say calmly, and it's much easier for them to process. Your mantra here should be, my ideas matter even if my English isn't perfect.
So we're nearing the end of the interview, and this is your final chance to really look professional. The interviewer asks, do you have any questions for us? And you absolutely have to have some good questions ready.
Yes. Avoid vague questions or anything about vacation time. You need specific, professional questions that show you're thinking strategically.
The research recommended 3 really strong options. The first one is a practical question about the daily reality of the job.
Right, like, what will my daily tasks be in the first 6 months? It shows you're ready to hit the ground running.
Okay, number 2 is a question that focuses more on the company culture.
What do you value most in your team members? This shows you care about fitting in and contributing to the team dynamic.
And number 3, which ties back so nicely to that growth mindset we've been talking about.
What opportunities are there for learning and professional growth in this role?
And finally, that crucial professional sign-off. You can't just let your voice fade away because you're relieved it's over.
End it clearly and warmly. Look them in the eyes, smile, and say, thank you so much for your time today. I truly enjoyed our conversation. That soft professional ending is what lingers in their mind. If we connect all this to the bigger picture, just remember that learning a language and going through this process, it takes immense courage and patience. Every single sentence you prepared, every moment of calm clarity, that is progress. You showed up.
So what does this all mean for you now? Let's just review the 3 most useful, simplest phrases from these sources, the ones that can really act as anchors for you. Number 1, the goal setter. I'm excited to learn and grow.
Number 2, the resilience statement. I can handle challenges calmly.
And number 3, that professional connection. Thank you for your time today.
Which leaves us with a final thought for you to consider. If success in an interview relies less on perfect grammar and more on showing growth and clear intent, what single area of your own personal development, and not just language, could you start communicating with confidence today? Take that clarity and just apply it.
Okay, let's talk about something that, makes pretty much everyone's heart beat a little faster. A job interview in English. It can feel like this huge, scary challenge, but today, we're going to break it all down into simple, confident steps.
First things first, if you're feeling nervous, that's actually a good thing. It's not a weakness, not at all. It just proves that you care about this opportunity, right? It shows you're invested. So think of that nervous energy as fuel, just waiting to be focused.
You know that feeling, right? You're in this quiet room, and your own heartbeat is just pounding in your ears. Maybe your voice even shakes a little when you first start talking. I just really want you to know that that is completely normal. It's okay.
So, how do we start off strong? Let's get right into our first tool. We are going to tackle that classic opening question with a simple, powerful formula that's going to build your confidence from the very first minute.
There it is. That big, open-ended question that can feel so intimidating. Tell me about yourself. It sounds simple, but where do you even start? Don't worry, we've got a surprisingly easy way to answer this with total clarity and confidence.
And the formula? It's so simple. Just 3 parts: your name, your background, and your goal. That's it. This structure keeps your answer nice and short, super focused, and it sets a professional tone right away without getting lost in a bunch of details you don't need.
So let's see what that looks like. My name is Anna. I studied business, I enjoy helping people, and I hope to grow in your company. See how simple that is? It's friendly, it's direct, it's positive. No big, complicated words necessary.
Okay, introduction? Nailed it. Next up, they're probably going to ask about your past experiences. And you've got to remember, this isn't about having some perfect work history. It's about telling a clear story of what you've learned along the way. The real key here is to focus on the skill you gained, not just the task you did. So instead of only saying what you did, explain what you learned from it. For example, I worked in a small shop, and because of that, I learned to communicate clearly. That's what shows them you know how to grow from your experiences.
All right, let's talk about the classic questions, strengths and weaknesses. For strengths, just be honest and try to connect it back to the job. But the real secret is how you talk about your weaknesses. The goal is to show you're self-aware and to frame it as something you're actively working on. Honesty plus effort, that's always a winning combo.
This phrase right here, it's so powerful. It perfectly sums up that positive, growth-focused mindset that employers absolutely love to see. It shows you're not afraid of a challenge and that you are genuinely committed to getting better.
Okay, so we've got our content ready. Now let's talk about delivery. How do we actually say all of this with confidence, especially if we're feeling nervous and English isn't our first language?
The key is simplicity. Seriously, short sentences are powerful. Why? Because they're clearer and they just sound more confident. Just notice the difference here. The shorter sentences are direct, they're strong, and they're way easier for the other person to follow. Always remember, clarity is way more important than complexity. This is a little mantra you should repeat to yourself. Your value is in your ideas, in your experience. The interviewer wants to hear what you have to say. They're not there to hunt for tiny grammar mistakes. You have to believe that your ideas matter, because they absolutely do.
So we've covered the beginning and the middle. Now let's talk about how to end the interview on a real high note. Because that last impression you make, it's just as important as the first.
So when they ask, do you have any questions for us? Your answer is always yes. This is your moment to show you are serious about this role. It completely changes the dynamic from, an interrogation into a real two-way conversation. Asking about daily tasks shows you're practical. Asking about team values shows you care about the culture. And asking about growth, it shows you're ambitious. These are all fantastic signals to send.
And finally, always, always close with a warm, professional thank you. It's polite, it shows you respect their time, and it just leaves this lasting positive impression. It is such a simple step, but it is so important.
Okay, we have all the pieces of the puzzle. Now let's put them together. We're going to do a quick walkthrough so you can really see how all these tools flow together in a real conversation.
Okay, here we go. The interviewer smiles and opens with that classic question. Take a deep breath. You know exactly what to do.
And there's your answer. You connect your background, marketing, with your passion, creative projects. It's concise, it's relevant, and it perfectly invites them to ask you for more details. Perfect.
And now for a trickier one. They're looking for honesty here, for self-awareness. Just remember our strategy.
And here it is, the perfect way to answer that. You're honest about the weakness, feeling shy, but you immediately pivot to the positive action you're taking. That shows self-awareness and commitment, which is just a really strong, confident response. Now, what if they follow up and ask about your greatest strength? You could say something like, "I'm very patient, and I really enjoy helping people solve problems," connecting your strength directly to the value you can bring.
So, let's just boil this all down to 3 key phrases. Think of these as your secret weapons. They're versatile, they're powerful, and you can use them in almost any interview to show you're enthusiastic, resilient, and professional. And let's end on this thought. Getting comfortable with all this, it doesn't happen overnight. It's all about taking small, consistent steps. Every single time you practice one of these sentences, you're building the confidence you're going to need for tomorrow. You are learning, you are growing, and you are absolutely capable. So the only question is, which sentence are you going to practice first?